going to study today the physiology of breathing. Children, in the last videos we have discussed about the human respiratory system and how does human respiratory system works. What is the procedure, what is the process that how your atmospheric air is entering inside the body and how the CO2 is evacuating out or how it is being released out into the atmosphere. Today, the most important thing which we are going to study is what is the physiology. Now, what is physiology? Physiology means mechanism. Mechanism of what? Mechanism of breathing. If you remember, in the previous videos, I have discussed that your respiration is of two types and it is completed into two steps. Not two types, but it is completed in two steps. The first step was breathing and the second step was cellular respiration. So children, the thing which we are going to discuss today is the first step, that is your breathing. That what is the mechanism, what is the physiology or what is the procedure that how oxygen from the atmosphere enters inside the body and how CO2 from the body is released out. We will not talk here, children, about the cells. We are only going to discuss about the air which is entering inside the lungs and air which is evacuating out or releasing out from the lungs. So children, we will be discussing about physiology of breathing. And you know that breathing is completed in two steps. The first one is inspiration and the second one is expiration. You are knowing that inspiration is called as inhalation. Inhalation is a process when we are taking oxygen inside the body through our nose. And the second one is expiration, in which your carbon dioxide is released out into the atmosphere from our lungs. So these two steps we are going to discuss, and the second thing is that which parts of the respiratory system are involved in this. Which part of our body is helping in this inspiration and expiration process. Hope this much is clear. It is very important to understand and it is one of the most important question of CBSE board exam, that inhalation, what is inhalation and what is exhalation and which are the parts which are involved in inhalation and exhalation. So always remember, this is an important question for the boards which I think about approx every alternate years one of the question is being asked from this. So let us move further. That what is inspiration? So children, inspiration, you can see I have written that it is also known as inhalation. Now what is inhalation? Inhalation means taking atmospheric air, that is oxygen, through our nose into the lungs. This is simple inhalation. When the oxygen present in the atmosphere enters inside the lungs, passing through our nose, then nasal cavity, nasopharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and then into the air sac inside the lungs. This is called as inhalation. So in simple, oxygen from environment when it enters inside the lung is inhalation. Now the second important thing, that which body parts are involved in this process. So children, as a result of inspiration is a result of a combined action of ribs and the diaphragm. That means inspiration or inhalation is completed by the use of two parts, and that is your ribs of the body and second diaphragm. Diaphragm, in the last video in human respiratory system, you have seen in the diagram that at the bottom part of the lung a dome shaped structure is present. That dome shaped structure is called as diaphragm. So this is a joint structure, this is a joint function of ribs as well as diaphragm. Ribs, diaphragm you are knowing now. Now what is ribs? Now ribs are present inside the body which is making a skeleton system of of the body. Skeleton system of the body of which part? Of our thoracic cavity. You know thoracic cavity is your chest cavity. The portion of the chest is called as thorax and the cavity inside the chest is called as thoracic cavity. So, and this thoracic cavity is enclosed from all round, from back to front with a bony cage-like structure. And this bony cage-like structure is called as rib cage. Now, you know that rib cage from behind is connected to the backbone, which is called as vertebral column, and in front this rib is connected to the chest bone, which is called as sternum. In class 7 skeleton system you have studied this, that the chest bone is called as sternum. It is located here in the chest. It is called as sternum, and behind the body is having 33 pairs of small bones called as vertebra, and it forms the backbone of the body. Now, in front this chest bone, and at behind here behind at the body it makes a backbone. So behind backbone and in front chest bone, these bones are attached with 12 small pieces of bones in an arc form, and among these 12 arc shaped bones, 10 are called as true ribs and last 2 is called as floating ribs. So these true ribs means the first 10 ribs, they are attached behind with the backbone and in front with the chest bone. Is it clear? And then the last 2 bones, they are only attached to the backbone from behind, and in front they are free. They are not attached. They are not attached to the chest bone directly. They are attached indirectly with the chest bone. So last 2 bones are called as floating bones. So we are not talking about the structure of skeleton system of rib cage and all, but only to make you understand that what is rib cage. Rib cage is a cage-like structure which is made up of skeleton system, which is made up of bones, and it is forming a skeleton system in the chest cavity, in the thoracic cavity. Now, third important thing, children. If you remember, when I was discussing about the parts of respiratory system, at the last number I have noted intercostal muscle. What is intercostal muscle? I told you that these intercostal muscles are located on the ribs. If suppose children, this is our backbone and attached to it, so from behind the bones are coming and joining like this. This is our backbone. They are attaching like this to the skeleton of the body. They are making a backbone, a rib cage system in the body. Now, this rib-like structure is covered by a type of muscle in this way, in a circular manner. And these muscles are called as intercostal muscles. These are called as intercostal muscles. Now children, these intercostal muscles are wrapping the rib bones of all the rib cage. It is wrapping the ribs from 2 sides. One side you have seen, I have wrapped it in this way, and the second one will be wrapping in the opposite direction, in this way. Suppose that this is a straight bone, I have straight bone, and on one side this intercostal muscle is wrapping in this form, and on the second side the intercostal muscles are wrapping in the opposite direction. There is a function of it. I will explain when I will explain the mechanism. So children, hope you have understood. If this is a rib cage, on one side your intercostal muscle is wrapping in this way, and on the other side on the same rib, it is also wrapping in the opposite direction. It means that in the same ridge, on the same rib, from both the direction intercostal muscles are wrapping. ये हमारी रिब है और इस रिब को दोनों तरफ से एक बार ये इंटरकोस्टल मसल ऐसे लपेट के जाती है और फिर दूसरी तरफ ऐसे लपेट के जाती है। जैसे हम कोई रस्सी ले लें और उस रस्सी को किसी डंडे के टुकड़े पे, अगर इस डंडे के टुकड़े पे अगर हमको किसी रस्सी को लपेटना है तो हम उस रस्सी को एक बार ऐसे लपेटते हुए चले जाएंगे और फिर उस रस्सी को हम ऐसे उल्टे लपेटते हुए चले जाएंगे। तो ये पूरी रस्सी लपेट गई और हम फिर चाहेंगे तो दोनों तरफ से रस्सियों को ऐसे करके खींच सकते हैं, दोनों साइड से खींच सकते, वी कैन स्ट्रेच द ropes from both the side. So it is of that type of structure, intercostal muscles present on the ribs. So children, three things will be playing very important role in the mechanism of inspiration. You are knowing that inspiration is called as inhalation, and now you are knowing that three parts are involved in this inspiration process, that is your ribs, that is your diaphragm and the intercostal muscles which are wrapping the ribs of the skeletal system of the rib cage. Now we are moving that how the process of inspiration will take place. How these three parts called as ribs, diaphragm, intercostal muscles, how these three parts will help us to inspire, to take oxygen inside the body. So children, what will happen? See, I have written ribs move upward and outward by a set of muscle known as intercostal muscle, thus enlarging the thoracic cavity. There are many words, there are many lines which are important in this. The first point which is important. First point is ribs move upward and outward. Ribs of the rib cage, they will move upward and they will move outward. When you inhale inside, just feel it. सांस जब लो उसको feel करो. Your rib cage will move upward. The rib cage moves upward and then it will move outward. जब हम सांस अंदर भरते हैं तो सांस हमारा जो rib cage है वो ऊपर चढ़ता है और बाहर की तरफ ये फूल जाती है, ठीक? So what happens during inspiration when the ribs are moving upward and outward, and why it is moving upward and outward? It is moving upward and outward because of presence of intercostal muscles on the ribs. Intercostal muscles, it is just like ropes. रस्सी की तरह है. It is just like ropes. The intercostal muscles, and I told you it is wrapping from both the side. So this intercostal muscle is pulling the ribs up. So ribs is moving up, and the intercostal muscle of the opposite side is pulling the ribs outward. So chest is going out, the ribs are moving outward. When you inhale, what we do, and we release it out. So what happens? The ribs are moving up and the ribs are moving out. So there is something, there should be something which can pull the ribs. Rib is a skeleton. It cannot move by itself. So रस्सी rope is needed. रस्सी जैसी structures तो चाहिए ही चाहिए. So these ribs are pulled up by the intercostal muscle upward and outward, and due to which the ribs moves upward and outward, and it is an action of intercostal muscle. Always remember, ribs cannot move by themselves anywhere. They have to be pulled up by the intercostal muscles. So second thing, that your ribs are moving upward and outward by a set of muscle known as intercostal muscle. And second thing I have mentioned, thus enlarging the thoracic cavity. You know what is thoracic cavity? It is chest cavity. When our ribs are moving outward, upward and outside, inside the space of thorax, the lungs, the chest, the size increases. The size of chest increases, the size of thorax increases. Why is this increase? This increase is because the ribs are moving upward and outward. So inside the space has increased. So thoracic cavity increases in size. If the question is asked that why the thoracic cavity is increasing, thoracic cavity is increasing because of the pulling up of ribs upward and outward by the intercostal muscle. This was first question and answer to it I have given. Now the second is diaphragm which normally remains arch-shaped, upward like a dome, towards the base of the lung, flattens to an almost horizontal plane and thus enlarging thoracic cavity lengthwise. Now children, how our diaphragm is helping in the inspiration process. Now suppose that this is our lung, this is the two lungs, and I told you that our diaphragm is dome shaped. It is arch shaped structure in this way. Now, when the ribs are moving upward and outward, pressure will fall on this diaphragm also. So this dome shaped diaphragm will stretch and it will convert almost into flat structure from the dome shaped structure, from the arch structure. When the ribs are moving upward, ribs are attached to the diaphragm also. So when the ribs are moving upward, the normal position of the diaphragm is dome shaped. It is arch shaped. But when the ribs are moving upward, pressure will fall on this diaphragm. So from the sides, diaphragm will also be stretched. It will also try to move upward. So because of its stretching, almost the diaphragm becomes flat in shape. And because of this also, because of the diaphragm getting flat in structure, thoracic cavity increases in length. Thoracic cavity increases in lengthwise. So the cavity size increases in lengthwise. So I told you it is a joint function of ribs, intercostal muscles, diaphragm. Now we have studied that how the thoracic cavity is increasing in size. So thoracic cavity is increasing in size because of the stretching of the ribs by the intercostal muscles towards upward and outward, and due to this function the pressure is falling on the diaphragm of the body which is present at the bottom of lungs. So diaphragm converts from arch shaped into flat shape, and as a result your thoracic cavity size, your chest cavity size increases lengthwise. So children, as a result of two actions of ribs and diaphragm, thoracic cavity increases in size. Hope you have understood that how the size of how the size of chest is increasing. Now, what will happen when the size of chest will increase? When the size of thorax will increase? Our question was inspiration. How do we inhale? How do the atmospheric oxygen enter inside the lung? This was our question. Now we are coming to that answer. We are coming to the answer to that question. So children, what will happen when the thorax cavity size will increase? The pressure inside, we are moving to the pressure now. This is again too important to be noticed. That when the chest cavity is increasing in size, how it is increasing in size? Lengthwise. So when it is increasing in size, so pressure is created inside the lungs. Pressure. Internal pressure is created inside the lung. And this internal pressure is called as thoracic pressure. This thoracic pressure is less in comparison to the atmospheric pressure. Atmosphere means outside environment. So the pressure which is internally inside our lungs, that is very less. Pressure inside our thorax chest is very less in comparison to the outside atmosphere. That means internal thoracic cavity is cavity pressure is less and atmospheric pressure is more. And by diffusion process, you know the things move from higher concentration region to the lower concentration region. So when the pressure inside the thoracic cavity is less and outside is more. So from where the oxygen will diffuse? Oxygen will diffuse from the environment, from the atmosphere to the thoracic cavity by the process of diffusion. So as a result of diffusion, by the movement from higher concentration to the region of lower concentration, that means oxygen from the atmosphere, region of higher concentration, will move to the thoracic cavity to the region of lower concentration. This is how, children, we inhale. This is how your oxygen from the atmosphere passing through nose, nasal cavity, trachea, it reaches inside our lungs. So I have mentioned here that it leads to decrease in pressure in the lungs as compared to the atmospheric pressure. So the children, as a result, atmospheric air which is at a greater pressure rushes into the lungs. So hope you have understood that how your inspiration is taking place. So because of combined action of ribs, diaphragm and intercostal muscles, the thoracic cavity, the chest cavity is increasing in size, and because of increase in size, the pressure inside the thoracic cavity decreases, and due to decrease, the high atmospheric pressure air rushes inside the lungs as a result of inspiration process. Children, only the things which you have to remember here is that inspiration is a process of inhalation. Second, that ribs, intercostal muscles and your diaphragm is taking part in this. Third, you have to remember that your ribs moves upward, outward as a result of because of intercostal muscles, and due to this movement, thoracic cavity increases in size lengthwise. Fourth, diaphragm from a arc shape converts into flat shape, and then your thoracic cavity increases in size and pressure reduces, and because of reduce or because of less pressure inside, from outside air is entering inside. Now children, we should proceed to the expiration process. Now we have studied that how oxygen is entering inside the lungs. Now we are going to study that how your carbon dioxide will be thrown out into the atmosphere. Now children, we are moving towards the expiration. Now expiration. Expiration means exhalation. Release of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. So children, now we are going to start expiration. What is expiration? Exhalation. Exhale of carbon dioxide into the outside atmosphere from the lungs. It is your exhalation or expiration. Now, expiration is also known as exhalation. Children, it is a reverse process of inspiration. Whatever till yet I have explained you in the inspiration process, in the physiology of inspiration, the complete process will go on here now in reverse action, in opposite action. It is just a complete reversal of the same process that we have studied in inspiration. So it is a reverse process of inspiration. Now, what was involved? Which part was involved in inspiration? The same parts will be involved here in the expiration. Your ribs, diaphragm, intercostal muscle. These are the three things here also which will participate in expiration. Now, what will happen? What happened in inspiration? Ribs was moving upward and outward. Here it is a reverse. What will happen? Ribs will move backward and downward as a reverse process. In inspiration, ribs was moving upward and outward. Here, ribs will move backward and downward. It means it is going back to its original position. Ribs are moving to its original position back. Now, second thing was that intercostal muscles was helping them. I told you there are two set of intercostal muscle. One set of muscle is wrapping in this direction and the other set of intercostal muscle is wrapping in the opposite direction. Now the second set works over here. The second set of intercostal muscle will be working in this process, and as a result of this intercostal muscle, the ribs will move backward and downward. I have written here, ribs moves downward and inward. Inward means backward by the action of other set of intercostal muscle. Hope children you are understanding this. It is a complete reverse process. If you have understood inspiration, if you are going to understand the inhalation process very nicely, expiration is there nothing to understand. It's just a reverse process. Then I have mentioned that diaphragm moves upward to form a dome shape, thus putting pressure on the lungs. Children, what was happening during inspiration on the diaphragm? Diaphragm was dome shaped, and because of the pressure, thoracic cavity, because of the size was increasing, the pressure was falling here on the diaphragm and the diaphragm was converting into flat shape. Now what will happen? When the structure is moving down, when the rib is moving backward and inward, downward, and intercostal muscles are helping them, then what will happen? This dome, this flat shaped diaphragm will change back into dome shaped. It means that your diaphragm will also take its original position. It will go back to its original position. And when it is going back to its original position, what will happen? What happened in there? What happened during inspiration? Because of the diaphragm converting into flat, thoracic cavity size increased and the pressure decreased inside the lungs. But here what will happen? When the ribs are moving backward, inward, and your thoracic cavity size is decreasing, then what will happen? The lungs and the diaphragm is going back to its dome shape. Then the pressure inside the lungs will decrease. The pressure inside the lungs will increase. And why it will increase? Because the lungs are getting compressed from both the sides. Thoracic cavity is decreasing. When the thoracic, and where is lungs located? Lung is located inside the thoracic cavity, inside the rib cage. So when the rib cage is moving back and inward, the lung is also getting compressed. It is getting reduced in size. And when the lung size is getting reduced, the pressure inside the lungs will increase. And as a result of increase in pressure, the carbon dioxide will be released out. It is very simple to learn. That what happens? That your intercostal muscle, the second set, it pulls the ribs backward, inward. Diaphragm moves back to dome shape. Thoracic cavity reduces in size. Lungs get compressed, as a result of which your pressure inside the lung increases and the atmospheric pressure decreases. During inhalation, the pressure was more inside the pressure was more outside the body. It was more in the atmosphere and it was less in the lungs. So by the diffusion process, from outside the oxygen was entering. But now in this case, the lungs, inside the lungs the pressure is more and outside the pressure is less. So carbon dioxide, as a result of diffusion process, will move from higher concentration to the lower concentration area. That means from inside the lungs, CO2 will be exhaled outside into the atmosphere. So during expiration, as a result, what will happen? Pressure will increases inside the thoracic cavity as compared to the atmospheric pressure. Hope now you have understood this point, that how inside the lungs the pressure is increasing. Now what will happen? The lungs will get compressed as an action of ribs, as an action of thoracic cavity, forcing the air out into the atmosphere. So when the lungs will get compressed, the air will be forced out into the atmosphere. Hope children that the terms related to the procedure, the physiology, related to inspiration and expiration is clear to you all. Now children, we are going to discuss most important question of board class 10th, which is asked by CBSE related to this topic. Always if you see the question paper, it is asked, and in your NCERT book also it is lined in a black color heading that what is residual volume of air. It is very important question and favorite question of CBSE class 10th board exams, that what is residual volume of air. Now children, we have studied inspiration and expiration. Inspiration was taking oxygen from atmosphere inside the lungs, and expiration was releasing carbon dioxide from the lungs to the atmosphere. It means that gas which we are taking and gas which we are releasing is completely coming inside and completely we are losing outside. It is not that. During the process in between inhalation and exhalation, some little amount of air is left inside the lungs. Our lungs or our body or our cells cannot survive even a second without a transport of oxygen. And if suppose our lungs get completely vacant, then for that fraction of second, your oxygen transport will not be taking place inside the cells, and cells will not be able to do its function properly, and as a result the problems can be created with the life also. So what happens? In between this inhalation and exhalation, the lung is never completely evacuated. Lungs कभी भी पूरी तरीके से खाली नहीं होता है, वेकेंट नहीं होता है, इवैक्यूएट नहीं होता है. उस लंग्स के अंदर ऑक्सीजन के आने इनहेलेशन और CO2 के बाहर जाने एक्सहेलेशन के बीच का जो समय है, लंग्स के अंदर हमेशा थोड़ा बहुत एयर बचा रहता है, और इसी बचे हुए एयर को हम कहते हैं रेसिडुअल वॉल्यूम ऑफ एयर. Hope you are understanding what I want to explain, that during in between inhalation and exhalation, little amount of oxygen is left over inside the lungs, and this leftover air, this remaining air inside the lung is called as residual volume of air. And this is most important question. Please pay attention to it, and hope that today's this session is almost clear to you all. Thank you.